That's what I should say. I wouldn't figure it out. I would like to think the Lord would help me with all that. He's always in control. And that's another lesson. Don't be in control of everything. Like within 2 months, I had tripled my salary.
Wow.
Or my, like, what I get paid every 2 weeks, you know?
I have to constantly remind myself they're not going to ever care as much as I do about what I built because I put all the sweat equity into it. So what has been one of the biggest things that you've learned along the way being an entrepreneur, building a brand?
You can't force people to.
Brand Builders Podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by Empire Management Group. Whether you're a business owner looking to improve employee benefits, strengthen your insurance coverage, grow your sales, develop your leadership team, or build long-term wealth, Empire Management Group provides practical solutions all under one roof. That's right. Their team helps businesses attract and retain top talent, improve operations, and create sustainable growth. Plus, through premier partnerships like Aflac, they offer career opportunities for individuals looking to make an impact in their community. Learn more at empire-management-group.com. Let's get to the episode. Scout Guide.
Yeah.
I got my first client from the Scout Guide.
Really?
Yeah.
Just,
like
hey,
a few
we
weeks
saw
ago.
you on the Scout Guide.
Yeah, they're out of Odessa.
Dang.
They're like, yeah, I like to go look at the Scout Guide everywhere I go. They're like, I just like looking through and I saw your stuff.
So were they just dropping into Abilene and they saw one somewhere?
I guess. I don't know if it may have been on their social media.
That's awesome.
But it's a pretty big like home builder that is like nationwide.
Did you call Kristen? You're like,
I haven't yet. I want to close them first.
Thank you, man. There you
I
go.
want to close them first.
Yeah. Don't make that
But she emailed me. So I had some new things happen this last couple of weeks.
Okay, spill. Are we on? Are we going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
I had a client come in for the first time through ChatGPT, confirmed that because ChatGPT recommended me, and through the Scout Guide.
Leads are hot. Like the new stuff.
It's weird to me because I've never gotten leads from there. It's always been from social media, like strictly social media.
Do you put a lot of time into that? Like lead gen through AI? Or, I mean, I know it's new.
I've done some. Like on my website and stuff, I'll have AI audit my page and then go and fix everything to become what you call AI optimized instead of like SEO.
Is it AEO now or AIO?
Yeah. Something like that.
EIEIO. Like
EIEIO.
My marketing girl, she's trying to educate me. And I'm like, I want to just say I trust the process. But I kind of want to know the difference. And I'm 50-50 on it now. I'm like, you know what? You do you, boo.
It can be good if you use it right. And it still takes a lot of time. And AI is a hot topic on this podcast. So, I
mean, it's up and coming. I feel like we don't really have a choice. It's kind of like ride the wave. It's the Wild West for everybody together. So might as well get ahead of it instead of behind it.
It's like, it's like the internet times 100,000.
I've been walking around and people's phones are sitting out. I'm just hoping Siri or Alexa or Claude or whichever gal's listening, AI person, I'm like, physical therapy, like BodyWorx. just name dropping, you see like the old reels about it. But now I'm like, if that's the way, I'm not even going to do keywords anymore. I'm going to be the keyword, just like of audio walking.
Yeah.
Just BodyWorx everywhere we go. But man, that's cool.
But yeah, so got my first leads through there. I'm going to try to close them pretty soon. But anyways, it was just a new thing.
Has anybody called you like the guy in the Scout Guide yet? The dude from the Scout Guide?
Not yet. But they've called, they just call me like the podcast guy or the Facebook guy. Yeah.
If I say Howdy Media, sometimes people recognize it. And I was like, you know that podcast guy downtown with like the dope studio? And they're like, oh, the dude with the glasses. I was
dude with the glasses.
Bethel, yes.
You know what's hilarious is
don't stop wearing those.
When I kind of can't now. It's kind of the part of the brand, you know? So whenever I got these glasses, it's been over a year. And I have worn contacts for like the longest time. Like since 7th grade, I've been wearing contacts. And so I first put them on and they're kind of, they're big, bulky, like they're kind of like, you're wearing.
They take a little getting used to.
Yes.
Like,
We're repping. Let's go.
Wait, I could just pull it back and I could totally pull it.
And now we
I'm
can
not
just
as cool
record
as you.
each other. Just
And they're just like, where are low dunks? And it's
whoa.
like, ooh, look at that flexibility.
Dang.
I know you have
I
some
got
on.
dunks.
Let's
I
see.
can't put them
Twins.
that high.
That's why they put us next to each other on the Scout Guide.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the Scout Guide,
Ooh,
we're Scout Guide partners.
we're neighbors.
We're neighbors. And you know what
Eventually.
sucks is that
I need somebody to
Is-
zoom into those dunks. They knew the cool kids needed to be next to each other.
it's probably not going to be that name. So, which sucks.
Do you have any drops? Are you talking about your brand?
Yeah. Well, I'm not dropping anything. I'm just saying it's probably not going to be that,
Okay.
sadly. Which sucks because like we literally just printed this.
So like it's a tease.
Not by my will.
That's fair. I mean, my sign blew off, so I don't even have, signage. So we had that big windstorm come through on Sunday out of nowhere, as everybody knows. And it felt like the hailstorm from like 10 years ago where you just wake up and you're like, oh, my truck's totaled.
Everything's
and
destroyed.
yeah, it's Armageddon outside. Felt the same way. So I get a call at 10 p.m. on Sunday and they're like, your sign's gone. Like just from overhead, my business
Wow.
signage. Just straight up blew that sucker off the roof. So I made a little, story of me up there cleaning up,
Hey,
like
it's good content.
found my branded mats like half a mile away. The wind just really got a hold of them. Otherwise, it wasn't bad. I didn't lose electricity or anything like that. But
Yeah.
people don't even notice. The last 2 days, I'm like, do you notice that my sign's completely gone and it looks like trash up there? And they're like, oh, no, we didn't. And so I'm like, do I even need signage? Like, shoot, man.
Do I need to go spend these extra?
I'm just going to take that money that I would have spent on signage and put it into
Yeah.
AI,
Yeah.
SEO, AIO, whatever you call it.
So how
Lead
long
gen.
have you been in the physical therapy game?
So I graduated PT school in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, so 13.
Did you immediately start your own business or did you?
No. So when I graduated, we didn't even know entrepreneurship. Nobody went and did private practice. It was super rare. You pretty much join an in-network practice. You kind of work for the man, if you will. Or you go work at a hospital, inpatient, pediatric, home health. It just wasn't common practice to do private practice because we don't really learn a ton of business. And so 6 years or so in the game, I'm like, man, something's just got to change. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I worked for an amazing company here locally and I learned a ton, but when you're in network, insurance dictates patient care. So they might say, all right, Mr. Smith, you've had 10 visits. And because you're Medicare, 10's a magic number, whether you're better or not. Too bad. Like, see you
Wow.
later, go home. And better is defined very loosely. To the insurance company, better is I can, walk 100 feet. I can feed myself. I'm independent in very basic activities of daily living. Not, I want to play with my grandkids. I want to go golf. I want to, go surfing on the lake this weekend. Regards to age, they don't cover that. So, it was just a world. I was like, this is not optimal for our patients or for therapists. We're tired. We're seeing a ton of people. No one's really getting the outcomes that they want. They're just getting average better is mediocre. And so, you troubleshoot that for a couple of years and like, where can we find the workaround? And we did everything we could within reason. But at the end of the day, the boss was still insurance,
Yeah.
not your local nonprofit boss. So went out on my own.
So you decided to open what is now BodyWorx, right?
I did. Sorry, somebody was calling me. I had a business call.
That's the
We're good.
worst.
It's very distracting, actually.
Like it talks to you. So
I'm like,
quick, quick story, literally 30-second story on that. So I lead worship a lot at the church and I was mid-song. I mean, there's 800 people staring, just looking at you.
Yeah.
And I get a phone call. I forgot to turn it down. And I tried,
You're like this, just.
I did this
You're like-
and I accidentally answered the call. And there's this like Indian man just like talking to me while I was singing.
I would like to talk to you about the business loan.
Yeah, for real. It was the most distracting
my
thing.
gosh.
Anyways,
Were you just like,
It was the
pointing
worst.
like, Jesus.
Thank
just
you,
trying
Lord.
to tap, I love
Thank
you.
you, Lord.
What song were you singing? Do you remember?
no, I don't. It was so
Oh.
distracting. No.
You should have, after it was over, I wish you would have kept the guy on the phone. Hopefully didn't hang up and been like, you're welcome.
Yeah, I was like, maybe
I hope you
maybe
enjoyed
he
that
found the
live
Lord.
show.
Maybe
for the
he
one.
maybe he got saved.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I was going to say,
yeah.
The Lord did that. That was divine intervention for you, sir. Yeah.
Anyways, going back to your story, BodyWorx. You opened up BodyWorx right after that season.
I did. 2019, there was a law passed in Texas. It's called direct access. So direct access just means you can go into physical therapy without a referral, just like you can a chiropractor, massage therapy. You don't have to go get a note from your doctor of permission saying, yes, I can go get a massage from a massage therapist or acupuncturist or whoever. Mm-hmm. But in PT, we had a gatekeep. So there was a law passed in Texas saying now we have 15 days if you're a specialist, 10 days if you're not, but still 10 days is better than no days. So now when my friends are like, oh, my shoulder hurts in the gym or knee or whatever, I can't tell them, oh, well, come see me. Here's my business info or contact info, or here's how we can help you. I had to say, well, go see a doctor first and get permission and then come see me. And not good for business if you're trying to, get leads. So once that law was passed, I knew right away that was kind of my sign. I was like, you know what, let's just go for it. I've been in the game for a while. I have a good following. I was coaching CrossFit for probably 5 years at that point. So I had a big network there. And, us gym people were always a little banged up. So I had a little bit of a following. I felt confident about that. And I just said, how can we do this? We can start mobile. We can go brick and mortar. And it was a blessing that I had a brick and mortar just fall into my lap. I still to this day, I'm like, I don't know how that worked out the way it did, but rent was really cheap, 3,000 square feet, already had a tiny gym in the back. It was an older building, but I could make anything work at that point.
Is it the one you're in right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Still does this, justice.
You would have, I would have never guessed. That thing looks so nice.
I put a lot of Band-Aids on it. Yeah. There's probably 10 layers of paint. Who knows? Like about this thick, but we made it work. And then COVID hit 2 weeks later. And this is the part of the story where everyone's like, oh no, like COVID. I bet it was so hard. And honestly, that was the Lord saying like, you don't know what you're doing. Hang on, like pull the reins back, go learn some business, hire a business coach, get some mentors. And I was just toxically confident and like, I'll figure it out as I go. I don't have leads. I'll go to their homes. I'll get insurance on my home. So I had a little home office. I was driving to softball fields, putting on clinics, not really panicking because I think I was so excited to have some freedom that it felt like a little more like, okay, now I'm in my creative artistic era where I can explore what I enjoy doing. And so even though it wasn't like immediate income, I still had a good time doing it.
So how long did it take you to actually start seeing like, okay, this is like, this could be huge?
1 month.
1 month in.
It was wild. Within 2 months, I had tripled my salary.
Wow.
Or what I get paid every 2 weeks,
Trust as the foundation of every single great business. And the Better Business Bureau exists to protect that. So the Better Business Bureau helps consumers find businesses they can trust, offers scam prevention resources, and supports local business owners through accreditation, networking, education, and visibility opportunities. Brittany Brown, she's the CEO. She's been serving the big country, and she says strong communities are built by strong businesses. Whether you're trying to grow your business or make a smarter purchasing decision, the Better Business Bureau is in your corner. Visit bbb.org to learn more.
And I thought that was the coolest thing. And it's really like nothing crazy, but you're like, oh my God, I'm rich. Like,
the first dollar you make, or say crazy. Like the first $1,000 you make from a business that you started, it's like, whoa.
It feels different.
Yes.
It's your baby. There's true value in it. But also when you're a solopreneur with minimal overhead, that profit margin is massive. And I do miss that a little bit because, as you grow, as you're serving more people, and that's the goal, right? It's just to help as many people as possible. And so there's nothing negative about this. It's just new challenges, new growing pains. But you go from like literally an 80 to 85% profit margin to like a 15, like 10 to 15 range, depending.
Yep. Which means you have to get more clients, which means you have to up
more
marketing
leads,
spend,
more taxes, more personalities to manage and lead. I have a great team. It's just more mental bandwidth that I don't think I was really prepared for. I don't think anybody could ever be prepared for that. Leadership is coming. Yes, maybe more OpEx is coming, more over whatever. Things are going to change, but you don't know until you get in it.
Yeah. So you said you had a business coach?
I
like
did.
A mentor?
Mm-hmm. So PT Biz is what it's called. So they were a bunch of cash pay entrepreneurs who started maybe a couple years, probably 5 years before I did. So it's a new landscape. So you've got like newbies learning from newbies which we're now learning lessons from the stuff we did 5 years ago. If I could go back and change, I would say 30% of the things I did system wise, I would, including like comp structures for your employees. You set it up a certain way of, hey, we want you guys to be happy, healthy, not burnt out like we were in the past. We had a hybrid structure. So you have like, your base salary and then a commission. It's unheard of almost to have a commission in healthcare. Commission is not the right word. It's more of a bonus structure, right? And you want that to be based on, hey, if you want to see more patients, as long as we're seeing them for an hour, quality time, we're putting the value in, you can work as hard as you want and you'll get rewarded for that versus burnt out and tired. But if you want to pull back, we've got unlimited PTO. You're still going to have your base salary. So there's a safety net there and stability. But it does give people a chance to be kind of an intrapreneur if they wanted to. And like a barbershop, it's like, hey, you got your station. I'll hook you up, make sure I get you leads, help you out there, but nurture your clients, keep everybody happy. And if you can keep those people coming in, then I don't have to generate more leads for you because you've got continuity of care. So it's a lot of educating PTs as well. Like, hey, this isn't the same as in network where you just have referrals coming in from every doctor in town. You don't wake up and think about that. You show up to work, you see patients from, 7:30 to 5 and you go home.
And you really never run out of patients.
Never run out of leads. Like there's a lot of people getting care these days. And we've got the boomers that are all in, their Jerry stage, their 5 years. And then you got all these athletes now that are playing, one sport year round and people need care. And so it's a different model, especially when you have to educate your employees of like, this isn't just about physical therapy now. It's about people making sure even in the community, like we are taking care of people in every aspect, that we're going to go to your baseball game after, we're going to see our people in church and just be kind, and that's really how we get our leads. It's not just this or just seeing or just Google. It's doing people right. And I'm sure you're kind of the same way. Yeah.
And then eventually it just snowballs and you get more referrals from your referral network. And
that's been the hardest part, I think, is like with PT Biz, going back to your question there, they taught us how to set up systems. They're teaching us marketing, leadership, but it changed every quarter. We're learning something new every quarter. So I ended up working for them and I was a business coach for them for 2.5, 3 years. I had to step back for health reasons and that's the landscape I'm on now this past year. But it was interesting because we're all on a roller coaster together. And now I feel like this is what the whole AI thing is for everybody, not just exclusive to healthcare. I mean, for you too, it's how are we going to adapt?
Yeah. It's getting crazy out here. Let's just say
What about you? Like, how do you stay motivated to keep going as things are changing?
Man, that's a great question. For me personally, something like this, everything that I try to do is faith-based and what I feel strongly that the Lord has called me to do. And so I think of scriptures like 1 Peter 4:10, where it talks about using the gifts that the Lord has given you to serve others. And that's pretty much it. For some reason, it's very easy for my mind to understand like cameras, marketing stuff, AI stuff, marketing in general. And so why should I hold back and not help people if it comes easily to me or naturally to me? And so even whenever it gets hard, going back to the drawing board or having that mission, that vision is stronger than, like, there's been times where I didn't think we were going to make it, like every entrepreneur, right? And especially with this being one of my first actual businesses that makes actual money. I always hear everybody say your first business is not going to be your best business or most successful business. And then it's like, okay, why not? Like, why can't it be? But then it's also like, is this setting me up for something in the future that's going to be bigger?
Yeah, I love that. My business coach, he used to always say the first pancake is always shit. When you're making your first one, it's never going to be that beautiful IHOP circular round. Like there's no symmetry. It's like a blob, You keep practicing, you get better. It seems pretty rudimentary, but I kind of fall in the same way. I was like, why can't this work? Why can't we be risk averse? It doesn't have to be perfect, but we'll find a way. And I think there's some ignorance to that too. Like you don't know what you don't know. And if I went back and could look the last 6.5 years of entrepreneurship, I don't know if I would do it. Just like PT school, knowing how hard it was, I don't know if I'd go back, but I'm so thankful I did. And I'm so thankful I did this. And I think, again, that's the Lord's protection over us. It's not we're just going to keep beating you down in the storm. But it's done well for you, right? I feel like.
I mean, it has, I'm always like, oh, it could be better. But at the same time, I have to be content with where I'm at and not force anything either. Cause I'm like a visionary guy. Like I want to know what we're doing, like where we're going a year out, 5 years out. And then things happen along the way that are unexpected and it completely changes everything.
Yes.
Like the whole like branding thing, like people around town are starting to know who Howdy Media is. And now it's going to be changing. Yes. And so anyways,
man, I have a quote that kind of ties into that. So, things come up that we don't expect. I did so good for 4 years and I was like, man, I'm so happy and so content, like just kept going up. And then 2025 was a really wonderful year for me. I had a lot of experiences, got to dance with the stars, a lot of community type stuff. And you get big elevate, like people kind of know your name and then things just come crashing down. And it's like, okay, why, Lord? Went through some health stuff, still navigating that, trying to figure out how to do what I used to do without the energy that I had with, the ability. And I felt the Lord saying, like, this is where you get your experience, to be humbled, to kind of sit back, learn something from me. You can't be in control. You can't do it all yourself. Stop riding that high. Like, just listen to me. Like, just slow down and listen, which was a good lesson to learn. But one of my favorite books, it's The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch. One of his quotes is, experience is what you get when you don't get what you wanted. And it's meant to be a positive, right? Because it'd be really easy to just constantly like chase perfection, this is good. This is the goal I set for myself. And when that doesn't happen, we're like, oh, like things are going to shit. It's like, no, you had a learning experience. And so when I've been able to just reframe it like that, of like, this is the Lord teaching me something, or I didn't fail, I learned. I got experience from it. Now I know. Just the things that come up in business, like, cease and desist of branding, of, infringement, getting sued over healthcare, stuff that you would never imagine. I haven't walked through a lot of that, but I know it could happen. It's happened to friends, and you've got to be prepared for that. But at the same time, you can't just live your life just
in fear,
playing defense, right? And I'm more of an offense girl. And so when that comes up, thank the Lord, there's people in my network, people like you, my CPA, HR people that I've met in Abilene. They're like, oh, we got you. That's our specialty. And I know I can look in this book right here and say, hey, somebody will help protect me and we'll get this taken care of, but I'm not going to live in fear and worry about that. Like that's the Lord to take care of. So. Yeah.
There's already enough trouble for tomorrow. Yeah. So why worry about it? We were talking about this last week, me and some of my buddies talking about failures and how failure is the greatest teacher, which literally aligns exactly with what you're saying. And if you never fail, then something is wrong with your, like, you got a complex weird perspective on the world if you never fail.
Everything's Gucci.
But so what has been one of the biggest things that you've learned along the way being an entrepreneur, building a brand, building a business?
There's so many. I'm going to try to find a good one. You can't force people to feel a certain way, act a certain way, appreciate certain things. And going back to just an example of Jesus. Everyone, we used to have the What Would Jesus Do bracelets, and it was fun and catchy and a good reminder of like, what would Jesus do in this moment? And at that time, I was probably like 13 when we started wearing those. And I'm like, oh, before you say anything, stop and reflect. What would Jesus do? But then you really look at his life, and he was not the most popular person. He was hated by so many people. People didn't care for what he had to teach. They didn't like the way he lived his life. He was a recluse in some sense. He would go away and rest, but he set this example that we didn't even know was the best example. And so I've had to remind myself as somebody who's an empath, who's a people pleaser, like a toxic Enneagram 3. I can be the chameleon. I know you've talked about that with some guests on your podcast. I wanted to make everybody happy, right? I want to do right by everyone, but you just can't. And that's a very hard lesson to learn. And so I'm like, you know what, if the most historical figure on our planet's like the person who I'm just trying to, live up to, if he was unpopular and he stood his ground, and he walked in faith and not by sight, then like, what am I afraid of?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do wrong by anybody, but I do have to be grounded in what I know is right and my values.
Yeah.
Regardless. So it's hard without giving a very tangible example, but
no, yeah. So
it comes up.
So would there be any like specific, like what is something you wish you could go back and tell yourself before starting it all?
It's okay to not be perfect. I wish I could go back and set up more of systems that's kind of like a handbook that is loose, not this is how it has to be. And the handbook's not the Bible. So then I just threw the Bible out the window, the handbook. And I was like, we're just going to fly by the seat of our pants because there is no playbook. But then when you've got, 2,000 patients that you're taking care of, when you have 14 employees, when you've got people wanting your time and attention, and you just have so much going on as an entrepreneur, your brain gets scattered and then your health goes to crap. And it's like, I can't handle all this. I didn't have a very sturdy system to fall back on. It was like, okay, but a lot of times, like my staff will tell you, I joke, if they ask me a question that's a little bit of like an ethical question, hey, this patient is running late, but they said charge them, but their son is really sick. And like, do I charge them? I'll tell them, do what feels right in your heart.
Yeah.
I hire good people that I know have good values and they're good people. And I'm like, do what you feels right in your heart. But that's not a good quote to put in a handbook. Like, how do you run BodyWorx physical therapy? We do right by people. We help people stay active and we do what we feel is right in our heart. Like,
yeah. But then like, what if right in their heart is like, completely different than what your heart looks like?
Exactly. And so a little bit of a hard lesson to learn. You can't just expect everybody to do the same things you do, feel the same way, put out the same product, if you will.
Yeah. Or care about your business as much.
Exactly. And that's okay. But it is a hard lesson to learn. So
I've had to remind myself whenever hiring somebody or getting a contractor, an employee, like we don't have a ton. We don't have 14. I have 2 right now. But even then, I have to constantly remind myself they're not going to ever care as much as I do about what I built, because I put all the sweat equity into it. I've spent all the time. Yeah. I was the one who spent 15-hour, 12-hour days working for the whole first year. Like I wouldn't go back and do that again now, but whenever starting anything for a period of time, you kind of have no choice.
And you have to know that they don't know that and they don't have that perspective, and that's okay. It's not your job to try to prove yourself. I used to get a little frustrated of just like, man, like I wish people understood how much blood, sweat, and tears went into something what seems so simple, seems so basic, like our space. Like it's nothing crazy, but there were nights and weekends and like midnight, you're up there painting stuff and you're fixing the HVAC and like just little things. You're working on forms on the back end. You're fixing the website. You're paying some fee that somebody forgot, stuff that happens, but it doesn't matter. You telling them they don't care. They're there for their job. And so I had to stop trying to prove myself even to people like, hey, but look all these things that I'm doing. Like, don't you respect that grind? Like, no, they don't. They're trying to take care of their family too. A good lesson that this is something I just reflected on that's very morbid. But if you think about it, everybody you know on this planet's going to die, right? Like that's the extreme of it. So we're never going to be attached to one thing, one person. Like it's a constantly evolving life cycle, right? Our time here is finite. It's not eternal, right? Eternal's in heaven. Business is the same way with employees. And when I was doing business coaching, I would tell these other entrepreneurs, like, remember, everybody you hire, like, you could wait till you find the perfect unicorn. But that unicorn might have something come up 1 month into being hired and they might have to leave. So it's okay if you get somebody with the soft values of their great personality. They're good with people. They check all the boxes of stuff you can't teach. You can teach them the skills. And even then, they still might leave. So you have to be okay with knowing people will come and go and it's not their baby. And so every time I'm looking at hiring or managing employees, I have to go through that litmus test of like, what do they care about as a human? You know, what are their priorities? How can I help them with that? Can we walk together in alignment as a team? Or is it something that we need to chat about or go separate ways? And everything's been okay so far, but yeah, it's different when you're working with people.
Yeah. So being the owner of the business, do you still see a ton of patients, or are you doing more of the owner activities?
I would say 50-50. I'd like it to be more of the admin time, but I truly love patient care.
Yeah.
And so I always have to fall back into doing what I love. Like you said, I'm really good at cameras. I'm really good at marketing. It comes natural. For me, physical therapy comes natural. Like I can do it with my eyes shut. It's what gives me life. And so if I'd stop patient care, I think I'd be a little miserable. And I get bored. So I don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to do all patient care, but I don't want to do all admin work.
Yeah.
I just like being here. This is a great break up to my morning. Like I get to go talk to like cool people, do cool things. And this afternoon I'll see patients. So
hey, you're marketing right now. This is marketing time.
BWPT.
Yeah. So your hiring process, do you have to go to like these like schools to find people, or how does that work?
My hiring process is very relational and it's not very traditional. Like the whole LinkedIn thing. Nope. I get to know people. So my other PTs and I, we all teach adjunct at Hardin Simmons. We'll go over to ACU, McMurray. We drop in all the time and just volunteer our time and teach. You get to know students that way. We have student interns. So a lot of time I'll vet our interns. And when I have an intern, I interview them. I have them submit, forms to me saying like, what's your intent here? How many hours do you have? I just want to know who they are as a person. And I can immediately say like, that would be a really good hire in about 5 years. If I can just start nurturing them and teaching them the BodyWorx way, if you will, because we're so different. And I want them to even be exposed to a different side of physical therapy that's almost more, it looks like a gym. It's based on an active lifestyle. And so if you can plant that seed quick, that's one way I start to vet them. And then I have a pipeline of people coming in. We have students that are doctoral students that come in. And if you can get them right at the end of their doctoral program, they can feed right into being a clinician. I typically tell my clinicians, I won't hire you as a new grad. I want you to go 1 year into the real world and go learn, go get experience. Like we talked about earlier, make your mistakes. And I will be here waiting for you after that year, but just go and learn a few things. And the employees I hired now, which have all been with me since I started, they actually came from previous workplaces we worked together before. So just highly vetted. They're friends. A lot of people say don't hire your friends. I would argue that I didn't hire them because they were my friends. I hired them because they were highly skilled individuals with good values and they love the Lord. And we just have the same core values and our personalities match. They just happen to be really good friends of mine. Yeah.
That's an awesome place to be. So. What would you say was the first thing that you delegated for your business?
Back end stuff. The stuff that chews up your time, taking payments, scheduling, discovery calls. So that was a hard one to give up because that's sales. And my two girls that are at the front desk that do all of my calls, they're wonderful. They're moms. They're just great with people. And we had to learn a few things kind of on a script, if you will, of, hey, here's what people need to know, but you can't hit them with, no, we don't take insurance. This is what we cost. It's, hey, what value can we provide for you? So that was a little hard to let go of because I know I can sell it better than anybody because I can start talking medical to these people and almost diagnose them on the phone and then they're bought in. But it can be done. And you have to learn to just like train them up the right way, teach them. And so just the stuff I didn't like, honestly.
Well, which is great.
Upload.
The sales part, it's hard because it directly correlates to revenue. So it's like
they're the most important employees. I always joke. I'm like, you're the front line. Like you're the first point of contact. If you guys don't do your job well, we don't have, like, if you don't get the kill, we don't have anything to eat and nobody eats. So and
wow,
it's pressure, but man, they do such a wonderful job. And to the point now that I'm like, I don't want to take this call. Like, you know what to say. Cause there are a lot of questions that are logistical of, do I need a referral? Do I need this? Do I need that? And I've gotten so far away from it that if I can focus on being a damn good clinician and a damn good business owner and let them just do their job, everything works better.
Yeah.
So
it's too much for one person to be doing everything.
Doing it all.
Yeah. So I know you've been through some, and you mentioned a while ago, some kind of health issues and things that have come up. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yes, I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible. It's a little bit of a funny story, but I think it's something that most women in their like mid 30s, 40s are going through right now. A couple of years ago, I started just kind of falling off the wagon in the gym. Had COVID, thought, it's probably just some long COVID stuff going on. Just couldn't keep up, started to feel really fatigued, tired. And then the whole like perimenopause train hit, and I'm like, that's what it is. Got that perimenopause and have some personal stuff, that I've dealt with in the past that, yes, that correlated. And then just things kept getting harder, kept getting more tired. Then I had a few physical injuries that came up. So November 2024, I was rehearsing for Dancing with the Stars. We were doing a front flip, my partner and I, like the movie White Chicks. I don't know if you've seen that movie. Mm-hmm. Great movie. Basically, my partner, I like reach between my legs. He grabs my hands, pulls me, front flip. First time I met him, within 20 minutes, we were both like kind of cheer dance background. My dance partner's name is Aaron. He's wonderful. Okay. This is nothing to do with Aaron. This is everything to do with us just being silly and taking a risk and things happening. But we tried this flip and my face just smashed into his crotch at a very, very high speed. And I had a little whiplash injury from that and kind of laughed it off. We both laughed it off. Didn't think much of it. It's like, oh man, my neck's a little achy. Next day I was flying out to California and I was just holding on to my neck. Like, yeah, I think I should probably get this checked out. It's a little bit worse than I thought. I could just adjust my hat like this and you'd hear like a clunk. Oh. And being a healthcare provider and a PT, I was like, well, that's not good. I should definitely get an x-ray. So went and had open mouth x-ray. There's some misalignment stuff, but nothing crazy that they found at the time. But then weird stuff started happening. Like we did the flip and the show was great. A couple months later. But every like 3 to 4 weeks, I would get dizzy, lightheaded, my heart rate would shoot up, neck felt really unstable, like never really had a ton of pain, just like something was off. Had a few episodes where I was like passing out. I'm like, man, just spending all this money on healthcare, trying to figure out what's wrong. And that was a really hard thing to navigate. Cause like, I'm a healthcare provider in a world where I know a lot of people and I can get into anybody at any time. I have a great network, but nobody could figure this thing out. So come October of this past year, I was running a 5K at the Well when they do their color run. Talking pace, like chatting with everybody along the way, like 9:30 pace, nothing fast. Finish and I start like kind of dry heaving, like choking, not feeling well, really clammy. My heart rate's super high. I'm like, damn, I'm out of shape. Like I better hit the treadmill. Something's wrong. Still felt bad, like bad headache. I looked at my data and I was at 199, highest heart rate. My age predicted max is 182. My average for that whole run, which is about like 27 minutes, maybe more, was 173, which if you know anything about physiology and heart rate, that's really high. I was in zone 5 for like 27 minutes. I don't think I've ever been in zone 5 for more than like 15 minutes max when I was doing CrossFit. So I was like, well, that's not good because I felt like I was chilling. There was no feedback. So I was like, something's not right. A week later, I had a TIA. So a mini stroke, essentially. Wow. I was at work. I was walking with a patient. I had a weight vest on. We're walking around our building. I start slurring my words, left-sided facial weakness. And my sweet patient, she's like a sister to me. She said, are you good? Like, everything okay? I was like, yeah. Why? I'm just trolling along. She's like, well, you're slurring your words. And I started noticing, just some weakness here. And I've had Bell's palsy. So I was like, that's a high school thing I had. Like, not a big deal. We get back to the gym and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, snap. I'm having a stroke. Like you can see all the signs. So my patient said, you're going to the ER. I'm going to take you right now. And this is not going to surprise anybody. But I said, well, I have a patient out there waiting. My next patient's already here. Like, let me go talk to her first. It's like, no, you dummy. Like, get your butt in the car and go to the ER. So my office manager is like, you need to go. I just go. So patient takes me to the ER. They do all the blood work tests. Was there for a couple hours. Got in trouble for ordering Chipotle, DoorDash to the ER. Sitting there, I was like, I'm hungry, man. I gotta have my food. I don't care where we're at. It's just very
Stroke or not, I'm
like,
eating.
listen, I need my steaks. Bring it in. Let's go.
Shout out to today's sponsor, BodyWorx Abilene. If you haven't seen one of their charcuterie boards in person, you're missing out. Madeline and her team build these gorgeous handcrafted boards and boxes for everything. Client gifts, corporate events, birthdays, you name it. They're in the Chimney Plaza off South 27th with free local delivery on top of pickup. Order online now at grazecraze.com/Abilene-Texas. Here's the best part. Mention this podcast when you order and get 10% off your next one. So go check out Grace Craze and let's get back to the episode.
So they say, well, yeah, you had a little TIA. We're going to send you off to neuro. Couldn't get into neuro for 3 months. And I'm like, I'm not waiting 3 months. Like I got to do my job. I have patient C. Took a week off of work just to recover from that. Nothing overly residual other than major fatigue and a little bit of facial weakness, but things just kept getting worse. So I called up some doctor friends and I said, can you just look through my imaging and can we just deep dive this? And one of the local doctors here, Dr. Trammell, he was looking at my imaging from the ER months prior, and he's like, yeah, you've got some tortuous arteries. So there's two vertebral arteries in your neck that run up and back to your brain. And on one side, it comes out of the spine because it's supposed to be protected by bone. It comes out and it kind of twists around like a curlicue, a little chip, then goes back up. And he's like, well, that's a problem, because if you're working out, if you're getting hot, you get vasodilation, your blood vessels get bigger because they're trying to pump blood everywhere. Well, if that's not a protected vessel, it's like a kink in the water hose. So instead of going straight up to the brain, that blood's coming out here, then it's getting kinked off. So now you're not getting blood to the brain or to your working tissues. That could be to your gut. It could be, anywhere where you need blood flow. And our bodies are fascinating. If you think about what the vascular system can do, it can increase up to 169% of its baseline at any given time, whether I'm in the cold and the hot. I can adjust quickly and I don't even know my body's doing that.
Yeah.
I eat a big lunch. I don't realize that all my blood's here and I'm losing up here. That's why some people get, a little tired, that sleepy post-lunch nap, that people need. So then you have to learn how to regulate where your blood's going at all times. So I always have electrolytes with me, salt tincture, if you will, so I can make sure my blood volume's staying increased. Getting IVs, compression stockings. It's hard in the summer to wear compression.
Yeah.
But POTS like stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with POTS.
Mm-mm.
So it's a postural orthostatic issue where, again, the blood flow to your brain becomes an issue. So your brain says, hey, heart, beat really fast because we need you to work harder to pump blood up to the brain because this kid can't think right now. Something's going on. So then the heart's like, all right, man, I got you. It just goes into overtime. This is what happened during that 5K where it's got a false signal. The body's just not responding the right way. And that runs a risk of heart attack, stroke, issues that you don't want to have, or one of those arteries even bursting. So it's been that's a long story, but really weird frontier.
And that's been like 2 years
or a year and a half or so. Yeah, like 1.5 years. And it's hard when you lose your brain power.
Yeah.
So one thing that makes entrepreneurs lethal is their ability to solve problems, right? Yeah. Critical thinking, because it's your baby. You're going to do what you got to do to make it work. And
you're a problem solver. That's your job.
Even if I didn't have energy to do something physically, I knew I had my brain that could figure it out. And I don't think I appreciated that as much as I probably should have because it's just who I've always been until you get it taken away.
Yeah.
And you're like, why can't I remember this little detail? I couldn't remember my mom's middle name. Like basic stuff, very important stuff. Like that's alarming.
Was that due to the stroke? Or
no, it was even before that.
Okay.
It's just when it's moments, like flares, if you will. And it's not, food-based, sleep-based, histamine-based. There's so many different triggers that can cause it that sometimes it's even hard to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a vascular issue. I'm like, man, come on, brain, what's going on? And you spend thousands and thousands of dollars getting tests.
Yeah.
I went to see a vascular specialist at UT Southwestern. Just wasn't a good fit health-wise and, wasn't taken seriously. And that's okay. I have the discernment for that. Still on the hunt for the solution. But at least I know now that I can manage it.
Yeah.
Heat is a big issue for me. It's like going out to the lake surfing, like July 4th. It's scary. And a lot of people don't know kind of what I'm going through because it's a lot to explain.
Yeah.
A lot. And I don't want to spend my time and, just tarnish my relationships talking about all the stuff that's going on. And so that's been really hard to navigate too, is how do I tell my story in a brief way that people understand? And I had to be okay with people don't have to understand. And I just have to be at peace with, hey, I'm going through some health stuff. I'm leaning into the Lord right now and I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah.
And today I can show up for you 100%, but just know if I can't always show up, it's not an excuse. I'm doing the very best I can and people have to take me at face value and I have to hope that that's enough. And it's been a hard lesson to learn, but yeah, so we're still working on it. It's either get a fusion, have stents. Lucky again that I'm in healthcare. I know what's going to happen if I do either of those. And I don't really want to live my life like this right now. So we're going to wait it out as long as we can. I hope I don't have any whiplash injuries or, don't get overheated.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, and the fact that you have a medical background and about all this stuff. I think of like an average person, like what would have happened if they had no idea about any of this?
That was my first thought out of the ER. And
if they go to the doctor to get an x-ray or like get something looked at and they're like, oh, there's nothing, we don't see anything. And they just, okay, they don't do anything else after that. Like, what are the repercussions of that?
Yeah. So the doctor that I went to that looked through trauma when he looked back through everything, and even myself, we were going through images together and I was looking closer and I was like, man, that's an old fracture. Like I fractured my C2. It was a stable fracture, but it was missed. And so I was walking around for a year with this instability that I had no idea. I thought I just really sprained a bunch of the ligaments.
And that was from the Dancing with the Stars rehearsal?
It was, but I'm so hard on my body who's to say that it wasn't
something else. Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you I've fallen on my head several times in the last few years. That sounds very irresponsible, but I'm just a little bit of a wild child. It might have been just like, the straw that broke the camel's back, but it was not that one thing. And it's really easy for high achieving people to get pushed into this. Well, you work too much. You're stressed out. Yeah. Just sleep more. Just delegate more. That was typically what my, clinicians were telling me. And I'm like, it's not the problem. I know my body and I'm okay with that and at peace with I need to slow down, but I tried all these things. And so, I remember thinking, you know what, I will be able to help my patients so much more now because I can empathize with these really challenging, hard cases and help them navigate. I can already name 5 people just right off the top of my head in the last 2 months that I have treated them differently now in a better way, more effective way than I could have a year ago because they have complicated stuff going on. I can send them to the right people. They don't have to waste their time, waste their money. They have a little bit more peace knowing oh, I'm not crazy. This is a real thing. And it's one thing to say we truly listen to you. We can listen, but if we still don't know what to do with that, it doesn't always give people outcomes they need. And so it's a blessing in disguise for those people now. Like the regular person that would have waited 3 months to see neuro, just for neuro to tell them you don't have a neuro problem. And I wore a Holter monitor for 30 days to make sure I didn't have a heart problem, just weird stuff that as a gym goer, people would see me and they're like, man, you must be really grieving not being able to work out. And I'm like, no, I'm grieving not being able to get out of bed and serve people and do my job. I'm grieving not being able to go home for Thanksgiving because I'm so dizzy I can't drive.
Yeah.
I'm grieving not feeling like the Jodi that I've always been. Who is this person with, this unknown diagnosis? What is happening to me? It's a very strange feeling.
Dang.
So learning to, again, just life is so much more important than the little stuff. I don't like the sign. The storm blew my sign down the other day. And I was like, it's just a sign.
Yeah.
It's just money. We will figure that out later. There are far worse issues. There's people without electricity right now. There's brand new babies that in homes and seniors and they don't have electricity. And just the basic things that people need to live. And I'm worried about a sign. Nah. So there's been some resiliency from this whole process.
So how have you kind of navigated being a business owner so far? Because I always am, and I'm not necessarily fearful, but it has been a thought of if I continue to do things the way that I'm doing it, say I were to go out and break both of my legs
Mm-hmm.
and I can't work for months.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Will this thing be able to continue? Which at the end of the day, like your health is more important than the business. But like, how have you navigated the business side? Like, have you stepped back on some things? Have you delegated some more things off,
Mm-hmm.
or how have you handled that?
One thing that I'm really, really grateful for and proud of is having a damn good team. Like I have a wonderful team, and they took the reins and they continue to see patients. You know, I knew I could step away for a week after I had that TIA, and they encouraged it like, hey, get rest. We got this. Like, we will take care of patients. My patients understood, like, we've always been in the green. Thank the Lord. Like, we've never been a business in debt. We've always done well. There's just a matter of like, how far do we want to push it? Like, what's optimal? Like, I'm reaching these goals. I'm hitting these numbers. My KPIs look beautiful versus like, hey, we're fine. We're doing okay. And that's something that I have to be like, hey, you worked your ass off for 5.5 years, so you could be okay. So when stuff like this did happen, you're good. Like, I set myself up to be okay for a little bit until I could figure things out. And not everybody is as fortunate. I have patients right now who are entrepreneurs who, for example, I have a guy right now, he's a burn patient, and he just started his business a year ago. Like, such a cool, hardworking dude, has a family to support, but can't really work right now. And I know the stress that comes with that. I'm just thankful we were still, had income coming in, but it's kind of scary, right? When you think like, what if I didn't have that? What would I do?
Yeah.
I'd find a way. I'd figure it out.
Yeah. It's going to be, the Lord's going to provide.
Exactly.
For
That's
all
what I
of
should
it,
say.
but
I wouldn't figure it out. I would like to think the Lord would help me with all that. He's always in control. And that's another lesson. Don't be in control of everything. Like, but you've got to pursue that. I've been very fervent in prayer and making sure that it's not just a talk the talk. Like, I've got a relationship with the Lord and I'm praying about it. And like, Jesus, take the wheel. He's got this. I'll just be hanging out back here. Like, it'll all work itself out. And it's not that simple. It's a mindset to accept that into your heart. But the Lord does call you, to be the hands and feet of Jesus. It's like, how can I still be the hands and feet, but that look different?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's a blind faith.
And he'll eventually turn this into like a testimony that's going to change somebody else's life. It already is. Because he turns everything bad for good. And so
it's his story. And it's always been his story. It's not Jodi's story. It's not Darren's story. It's not our story. It's not Howdy Media. It's not BodyWorx. It's how is the Lord working through us to serve our community?
Yeah. 100%. So I know it might be a little bit difficult to see like a longer term vision as far as like what this even looks like. But one thing that I like to ask people is like, where do you see BodyWorx going in the next 5-10 years? Like, are you going to have multiple locations? Are you wanting to expand, or are you wanting to just dial in what you have right now?
Man, that could go anywhere depending on the day. I think that I like to leave it open for whatever I feel called to do. If you'd asked me a year ago, I'd been like, yes, we're going to have satellite location here. And we're just going to really try to spread out the good word, if you call it, of cash pay or out of network PT. But then the more I think about it, I'm like, what? Be where your feet are. Like, there's a community here that needs help. Let's dial this in. Don't be closed off to ideas. The right person could come along, the right, partner, the right hire. I don't know. I don't really want to just put my thumb on it and say, this is exactly what we're doing. The old Jodi would have said that. A year and a half being in this process, it's kind of like, I'm going to do what I feel called to do day to day. And I'm going to show up and do the best I can on that day. And, not put any expectations. There's no stress.
I think that's good, because I don't know if you have these moments, but every now and then it happens like maybe twice a year where I'll have like a new relationship form that changes everything.
Yes.
Or like a new revelation or idea that changes everything, like literally everything. in 2024, it was the revelation of why have I not started a podcast studio? For some reason, I don't know why. And so like 2 days later, I had a 2-year lease and I was like, okay, it's kind of a big shift in my life going from zero overhead to now we have rent.
And then you had a baby.
Yeah. And then you add a baby in the mix a year later. And now we're moving studios and now we have to make more to pay the rent now. And we have to hire more because we're doing more. But there's always like a moment of revelation. Does that ever happen to you? Like, and it's really random for me. Like either I'm reading a book or like listening to a podcast and one sentence like changes everything.
Yeah. That quote I was telling you about earlier. Yeah. That favorite book. I have read that book probably 8 to 10 times.
And it's called what? What is it called?
It's The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch. It is about a professor who gets diagnosed with terminal illness, so it's cancer. Just prior to that diagnosis, he had said yes to speaking at Carnegie Hall. And this lecture series, it's just like if you're tenured and you get called upon to do that, it is like the gold star of like pinnacle of your career. And he has to make this choice of, I only have a few months left to live with my family, to experience life. Do I want to just lean into that, hang it up? Or do I want to do the last lecture and just like, I'm going to get emotional. Just like leave a legacy, you know, and truly like pursue the Lord's calling for me and leave this world with something better. Even if maybe this was my moment, just like you're talking about, do you ever have those moments? That was his moment. And it came at the very end of his life. And he's like, wow, like, this is it. This is my moment. So, you know, you read that book over and there's all these little cool things in there. It's little short stories and excerpts about how to live your life. And he worked at Disney World and he was an Imagineer and he's very creative, but he's also, you know, computer savvy and a smart, really wise guy, but he learned through life experiences. And I don't know why I never caught that one sentence of experience is what you get when you don't get what you wanted. And for him, in his case, I didn't want to be diagnosed with cancer. Yeah. I didn't want to be diagnosed with all these vascular issues, histamine intolerance, neck instability, MCAS, POTS, you name it. Like, I don't want to have these diagnoses, but these diagnoses aren't who I am. They're not my identity. BodyWorx is not my identity. But all these experiences that, you know, the Lord provides for us in our lifetime, like, that's who I want to be, the summation of those things. And I just hope at the end of the day that that experience is a positive one for not only myself, but for the people around me. And I can use those experiences to, you know, be better for the world. So, yeah.
So he wrote that book.
Yeah. It's a little biography.
Wow.
It's so good. I like to gift it to my patients. I actually gifted it to a patient yesterday. Yeah. And there's a lot like that. It's kind of like a Bob Goff. He writes a lot like Bob Goff. Yeah. And it's just an easy, like if you're traveling or if you just have a quick 5 minutes, you just get one of those little excerpts. It's like a Devo, but but not. And I don't know. I like to call them like little nuggets. I just get my little nugget for the day of like, oh, that was a good Randy Pausch nugget right there. I like that one. But yeah, you just never know. So I think keeping ourselves open when you ask what the long-term plan is, it's like, I don't know, I'm just going to keep it open because you never know when something like that's just going to hit you. Sidetrack. I don't think I've ever said this out loud, but if I wasn't a PT, I would probably go into like landscaping and maybe sales. Really? I just love being outside.
Like,
it's wild.
Being the owner of a landscaping company or just working for a landscape?
Even if it's partnership, like, I don't know. I don't want to necessarily like, that's not my forte. I'd have to become an expert first, right? Like I felt like an expert in the PT field, so I felt confident doing that as an entrepreneur. But no, I think I'd be a dang good employee. Yeah. I would love mindless work like that. I still want to work with people. I think it'd be great, like helping with design and sales. And it's so random and it's so different than physical therapy. But I think I can use the skills I've learned in business to toy to that. And so I'm like, you know what? You never know. Like, I could change careers one day.
Yeah. So like the more that I get into learning how business works, the more I realize every single thing is a business. And if you can learn how to run a business, you could do whatever you want. Like, it doesn't matter the industry.
It's the best classroom. Entrepreneurship is the best classroom. And so I always tell entrepreneurs, like, it's scary AF. Yeah. So scary, but you will learn so much from it.
Yeah. Like, I started thinking about the things that I know now, like how payroll works, how taxes work. how marketing works, how to invoice customers.
Why didn't they teach us this in school?
All the actual things that are important for a business. And I'm like, you can do the same thing, but the service is different. So like one of my things, I want to open up one day eventually some sort of trade company, like electrician or plumbing, and just hire certified plumbers or electricians to go do the work. But I know how to do everything else.
Exactly.
It blows my mind that
you're capable. So then you say like, man, I've had these moments of fear. It's like, but now I have the confidence of like, hell, if something comes up, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. If this thing closes down,
basic knowledge of how to start a business.
I'll just start another one.
You know, you do a little market analysis, see what the people want, what they need, and go from there. And we make it sound easy, like no big deal.
Not easy, but
capable, possible. Yeah.
A lot more possible once you've learned. I mean, I've only been doing this for like 4 years, but I've learned so much in the last 4 years.
And those two things can coexist, right? It's really cool to hear you say that because you can go pursue that dream. And I would love to see you do that. You still have your podcast.
Yep.
You know, and so this might be your creative outlet. That could be your financial support stability for your family, kids' college fund, all the things. And just,
So the skies are the limit.
America, man. 250 years of freedom and pursuing our goals and dreams.
Yeah, I love it.
It's crazy.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Darren, I appreciate you, man.
Where can people find you and connect with you?
Yeah, so BodyWorx _Abilene for Instagram. If you just look up BodyWorx, and we are the first works in town. You know, you got your Hot Works. There used to be a Stretch Works. Shout out to both of them, but we were the first works.
Works with an X.
Yeah, BodyWorx. So what's up?
Go check them out. Hope you gained some value from today's episode. Go give her a follow. Thanks. If you have any physical therapy or
small group training.
Yeah, I was about to say.
We do have a gym too. We're like a mullet, business in the front, party in the back. Like we get you better in the front, then you go work out.
So it's like a gym membership?
Yes. Or you can drop in. We've got monthly memberships, single day drop-ins. I've got friends that just come in all the time. And I'm like, yeah, just come work out with me, come hang. Like that's kind of our icing on the cake toy, if you will. That's not our profit generator.
Well, it's community though. It gives you a spot to have that community.
It is our people. So if you're ever like kind of timid about coming in and you think like, oh man, they're like crazy gym people's like, listen, I'm just trying to survive in the gym right now. Like we're all just trying to get through our day. Like we are there to help each other. And it's very like not intimidating at all. Yeah. We have a good time. So
sweet. Go check them out. If you haven't checked out the other episodes, there's tons of good stuff. Make sure you go check those out. Make sure to subscribe if you don't subscribe already. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.